We're going to be learning Maseches Berachos Perek Beis, Mishnah Aleph. This Mishnah has two parts. The first part is going to discuss that when a person is reading the Shema, they have to have kavana, intent, to fulfill that mitzvah. And the second part is going to discuss that although generally when someone is reading the brachos of Shema, or Shema itself, we're usually not allowed to make an interruption, there will be certain scenarios where a person can make an interruption. So begins our Mishnah that if a person was reading in the Torah, and it then became time for them to say Shema, if, let's say, they were in the middle of reading Parshas V'aschanan, which is where the first paragraph of Shema is written, if they had special kavana intent to then fulfill the mitzvah of Shema, then while they read that paragraph, they have fulfilled their obligation. But if they did not have kavana to fulfill the mitzvah of Shema, they just read that parsha as they were reading from the Torah, then they did not fulfill their obligation of reading the Shema. The second part of the Mishnah is going to discuss that generally there are three types of people. The first category of people is Kol Adam, any average person. The second category of people is someone who is kavod, someone whom you must honor, like a teacher, or a parent, or a Talmud Chacham. And the third category is called Yira, someone who you have to fear that if you don't speak to them, they might kill you. So we're going to have a machlokes in our Mishnah of two opinions. When is a person allowed to greet or respond to a greeting from these types of people? So begins our Mishnah with the opinion of Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Meir says that if a person is in between paragraphs of the brachos of Shema or Shema itself, then they are allowed to go and greet someone who they have to honor, and they can respond to a greeting from someone whom they have to honor. The next Mishnah is going to define what is considered to be between paragraphs. However, if a person is not in between a paragraph, they are in the middle of a paragraph, then they are only allowed to greet someone or respond to a greeting of Yira, of someone whom, if they don't greet or respond, might kill them. However, Rabbi Yehuda argues with Rabbi Meir, and he's more lenient, and he says that if a person's in the middle of a paragraph, then they are allowed to greet someone who they fear, that if they don't greet them might kill them, but they can even respond to someone whom they only have to honor. And if they are in between paragraphs, then they can initiate and greet someone who they have to honor, but they can even respond to a greeting from any average person. We're now going to read the Mishnah inside. Says the first part of the Mishnah, Hayakoi Reba Torah. If someone was reading the Torah, Vehigia, and it reached Zman HaMikra, the time of reading the Shema, Im Kivin Liboy, if his heart had kavana, then Yatza, he fulfilled his obligation. V'im lav, and if not, if he did not have kavana, then lo Yatza, he has not fulfilled his obligation of reading the Shema. The second part of the Mishnah, we're now going to learn the opinion of Rabbi Meir. Baprakim, in between the paragraphs, Shoyel, he can ask and greet, Mipnei HaKavod, because of someone who he must honor, Umeshiv, and he can respond to a greeting of someone who he must honor. But Uva Emtza, and if he's in the middle of a paragraph, then Shoyel, he can ask and greet Mipnei Hayira, because of someone who he fears that might kill him, Umeshiv, and he can respond to a greeting of someone who he fears. Divrei Rabbi Meir, these of the words of Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Rabbi Yehuda says, Ba'emtza, in the middle of a paragraph, Shoyel mipnei hayira, he can ask and greet because of someone who he fears. Umeshiv mipnei hakaved, and he can respond to a greeting because of someone who he honors. However, baprakim, if he's only in between paragraphs, then shoyel mipnei hakaved, he can ask and greet someone whom he honors. Umeshiv shalim, and he can respond a greeting l'chol adam, to any person.